Hi, I'm Coach Justus. You know, our culture has created us to be very self-sufficient. We hear messages that if we just work hard enough, we can get to a higher position or place in society. That if we just focus on ourselves, we can get there all on our own, and we don't need anybody else to help us get there. Long story short, patience and reliance on others is not necessarily seen as a very brave thing. Instead, taking action and trusting our own ability is what we're told makes us courageous. It can be really tempting to fall into this mindset, especially when we feel like our spiritual walk with God is in a place where we have to wait and be still, rather than being at a place where we're moving and taking action. It takes a lot of faith in God to be still and wait. And this is something we have an opportunity to work on every day. David is in a situation a lot like this in Psalm 27. Listen to what he says as he calls out to God in verses 7 and 8. Hear me as I pray, O Lord. Be merciful and answer me. My heart has heard you say, come and talk with me. And my heart responds, Lord, I am coming. Notice what David's first response is in the midst of this. Instead of trying to take control, instead of telling God what to do for him, he stops what he's doing and answers God's call to run to him. David then makes his request to God in verses 9 and 10. Do not turn your back on me. Do not reject your servant in anger. You have always been my helper. Don't leave me now. Don't abandon me, O God of my salvation. Even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will hold me close. We can see that David is very uncertain of what the future holds for him. Maybe in the past, he has put his trust in others rather than on God, and they have turned their back on him and abandoned him. I think we all relate to that in a lot of different ways. We can be so hesitant to fully rely on God, not because God has ever done anything to let us down, but because those we have put our trust in the past have let us down. Because of this, we often do everything we can to avoid relying on anyone else, and this can seep into our relationship with God. Yes, God, I know you always provide for me, but just in case, I'm going to hold on to a little extra instead of being generous, just in case you don't come through. I know you always have a plan for me, but I'm going to make my own plan instead of taking a few days to pray for your wisdom to guide me, because what if you don't show me what to do? These are just a couple of the many ways that we often rely on our own ability instead of being patient with God. But look at how the psalm ends in verses 13 and 14. Yet I am confident I will see the Lord's goodness while I am here in the land of the living. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Putting our trust in God can simultaneously be the most freeing and challenging thing we have to do. Even though so often in our lives we try to solve everything on our own, we have an opportunity to put our trust in God every day. Trusting our own ability can take some bravery, but it takes an incredibly courageous person to let go of their own ability and to fully rely on God. So today, be courageous and allow yourself to slow down and wait on God. It's not always the easiest option. It's not always the most comfortable option, but it's always the bravest option. God is right next to where you are, and He is working in and around your life in more ways than anyone can see. So now go and win today.